Hey everybody, I'm George.
I'm Steve.
And this is the Marketing Manager Playbook. Okay, welcome back to the
Marketing Manager's Playbook.
Marketing Manager Playbook.
Not the podcast, but if you're listening on podcast, great.
Yes, because we want you to listen and watch on YouTube.
That's right.
So this week, in this session, we're going to talk a bit about
medical marketing.
Medical marketing. So retail medical marketing, though.
Right.
Not industrial or so.
Not pharmaceuticals.
Chiropractors, dentists,
Physios.
Osteos. Is that a foot doctor? What is an osteo?
Osteopath is, you got physio, chiro, osteo, all in the same realm.
Okay.
They all seem to do very similar things.
Could you include like physical, workout guys? And
kinesiologists, personal trainers.
Okay, so all the stuff we'll talk about today, any one of those sort of people, groups can use some of the techniques we're going to talk about. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing, of course, and we talk about this all the time, know what your brand is, but do your discovery, put your strategy together, sit down and figure out who's your customer, where do they live. We've talked about this before. Figure out your perfect customer, identify them, dig into it. If you haven't watched that one, watch it. Really get to know who your customer is, and then you can start really identifying it. So now I've figured out who my customer is. I figured out who they are.
And I think in a lot of these cases, if we're looking at dentists, physios, chiros, I mean, yeah, you might say, well, anybody can come and see a dentist. Anybody can go and see a physio. But think about if you are in Vancouver. I mean, we're in
Vancouver.
Snowy Vancouver today. It was a tundra out there. First snowflakes of the year, I might add. It
0 degrees.
Yeah. Is your competition. So if you are a chiropractor and you're out in Kitsilano, where's the nearest chiropractor to you? Right? Like, so
geo-target them.
Yeah, like you might say your target market is everybody. So think about geographical.
But I know when I go see my dentist, or I want the person that's closest to my home, generally.
Right.
And
That's going to be your most
referral.
qualified. That's going to be your most qualified. If you have somebody that's 10 kilometers away that finds you, and you have somebody that's 1 kilometer away that finds you, which one's more likely to come and see you, right? The one that's a kilometer away from you.
I was going to say that.
So that's your lower hanging fruit, right?
Yeah.
So you always need to make sure that you're hitting your local market. Okay. And then, knowing where your target market is. So, I mean, if your demographic is people that are generally 50 plus, maybe in physio or whatever it might be, then where do those people exist? And that might be Facebook. I mean, that is Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, because we do both. And so for our clients, and we think about dentists, and sometimes there's restrictions on some of the places, but we find that both are really important. And there are not many clients we have where Google and social are effective for lead generation. But in the medical community, retail-wise, we find that it's really important to do both.
Right. I mean, Google, I come from a Google background primarily. Facebook is not my primary skill set. We have
Chloe up there and everybody else that does all that.
But the nice thing about Google is that people are searching for your service, so they're already looking for you, right? You don't have to, on social, you have to sort of create your target audience of people that are looking for a chiropractor, right? You can't just market willy-nilly out to people that are 50 years old within 3 kilometers.
We find
it's not very effective.
No, because this is an industry. These are the industries that I have a toothache, or I moved into it now. I need a dentist, or I wrecked my back. I need a chiropractor, and so it's kind of like the old school classified section.
Yeah.
You'd go or the yellow pages. Okay, I need where are they? And that's where Google's really important. And so we'll talk a bit, dig deep in there, and then social
medical practice should be using. I have a pen and I hit it. I have a finicky.
And you're probably going, ow, ow.
Yeah. Every medical office, every chiro, every physio, every personal trainer, unless you have a wait list that is never going away, I don't know, or if you're in a town where you're the only one. Yeah. Even still,
you should have a presence.
You should be on Google. You should be on Google Ads, even if you rank number 1, because there is a geographical area, and there are very specific search terms that represent your business, that if anybody searches that, if my number one client, like if my client has this pain and is in a 3 kilometer radius of my practice, there's no reason if they find me why they wouldn't come and see me.
So the challenge, though, is, especially in larger markets, is price. Can it get expensive for Google for some of these,
like
can. For dentists and
it can, and
because there's so many of them fighting for the space.
Right, and exactly. So search ads work on a cost per click basis, and the market sets the rate. So if you have 10 dentists that want to advertise on Google, well, dentist A says I'm willing to spend $1 to be on the top of Google,
right.
And dentist B says, well, I'll bid at $1.05, and C goes, I'll bid at $3, and that's how it goes up and goes up until you don't want to bid anymore, basically, right? So that's
your
how
return on
search ads
investment
work.
starts to go.
If with all things remaining constant, that's how it works. It's bidding.
But it's important to remember, and we've talked about this in your discovery, is figuring out the ROI. Mm-hmm. And if you're a dentist or a chiropractor, you really should value the lifetime value of your customer. Unlike, say, you're selling, you're selling whatever is one item for a kitchen or something. This is if you get a new customer at a medical office,
right?
This is the lifetime value is into the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and then they have family, and then they start referrals. So the value, the investment to get that customer is, I think, is one of the highest that is out there.
And that is one of the most frustrating things I have when working with this field.
Because they hate spending money.
I hate spending money. You hate spending money. I get it, but you need to assess what the average profit that a new customer brings, and you need to take a real look at that and trust that number, and then spend to get to that number, and spend it for 6 months and see what happens.
I could just do a quick ROI for me. I go, okay, I have 3 kids and a partner, a wife, and we go to the dentist twice a year, each one of us. That's say $150 each. That's that's $300 each. That's 5 people. That's that's $1,500 just on the checkups. Then the kids with their cavities, or me with the cavities, crowns, braces. The lifetime value of my family over the 10 years has got to be about $20,000 to $30,000.
Yeah.
And so to spend a couple $100,
exactly.
I would say is a pretty good investment.
Yeah.
In fact, a couple thousand is a pretty good investment for that return.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you? We've sort of with search advertising. That's where I like to spend primarily. Provided it's not outrageous, the cost per click. But generally speaking, it's not. And in a lot of spaces, actually, downtown Vancouver, for example, if you want to show up for RMT Vancouver, I think it's like $2.50. Like,
really
super reasonable. I was shocked, actually.
I'm going to become a massage
therapist about it, actually, when my client started, and I was like, oh wow, this is going to be a lot better than I thought, because obviously if clicks are $2.50 compared to $8 a click like I was expecting, now I'm expecting to get 3 times more leads, right, as an example.
Of course,
right?
all you have to do is spend more money.
Right, yeah, it's going to convert.
I wish it was that easy for my business.
Yeah.
It's the complexities of this kind of marketing is it's not very complex, because it's mostly a search. Now, once you're established, we find that that's where social really kicks in, especially when you want to do things like teeth whitening, lead generation, getting people in the door for the first time. Social really works well for that.
Or if you have a unique service offering.
Yeah.
So I'll give an example. We have a client that is helps people with mold. So they have mold, which I learned
in their teeth
can happen. No, in your body.
Really?
In your body, yeah. I have a good friend actually who has mold, and so it's not commonly known. And so
I've never heard of it.
If you're suffering from the symptoms, but you wouldn't even think of it, you might even just think you're depressed, whatever it is. So nobody's searching for, do I have mold, right? Like nobody's searching for mold doctor, right? It just doesn't happen. So Google you can't use, but social you can. So for example, we run a campaign that says, take this 5-question quiz to determine if you suffer from these symptoms, X, Y, and Z. Answer this 5-step quiz on Facebook. Yeah. They click on that because they're suffering from these symptoms. They do the quiz. Anybody who comes out of the other side of that quiz is saying, well, you might have mold. Well, bam, like now you have leads.
You got a lead.
Serious leads, right?
Yeah.
Or if you don't have the means to create a quiz, but you even just, okay, so let's say we don't have a quiz, but we just have an article about mold and the symptoms that you would have if you might be suffering from mold. Well, you have your target audience on Facebook, maybe people the ages between 30 and 40 in this area. You market to those people, not to sell to them, but to create interaction. Anybody who clicks on that article that is about those symptoms, and if you're suffering from those symptoms that you might have mold, anybody who clicks is now your more warmed up target market, right? You have a better idea now that, hey, they're suffering.
You put them in your funnel of sales, and how do we get them to...
Now you retarget.
Right.
You try to get their email address when they do click and they go to your website about that article, and you're basically providing free education. Now you sell to them.
Right.
So basically with Facebook and Instagram, now you can put them in a little separate pool. You put Pixel on your landing page, and now they start to see your sales ads come in for a consultation, that kind of thing, right? So that's how we use social in this field. Now retargeting in this field isn't always doable. We've talked about that on Google. Our Google retargeting.
You have a certain volume to justify the retargeting.
Well, no, and Google's terms of service is that.
Oh, for the medical
you
community.
Can't, the medical community is like they don't want if you're a chiro, you can't use Google retargeting, for example.
And in social, you can't do before and afters. They don't like that. They shut those down.
There you go. Yeah.
So
there are rules, right, and restrictions, and that's where the help of experts, so you don't go and set up a whole marketing campaign around, oh, hey, we're going to put these before and afters together, and then you design all these ads, and you get there and you launch, and you're like, oh, these aren't getting approved. So that sucks.
Cool.
Nice phone, George.
That's the front door ringing, actually. I don't know if you can hear it. It's like this buzzing sound on my phone.
Actually, you know who that is? That's probably a new hire.
Oh, yeah. It's for you?
The team is expanding.
Oh, okay,
The team's always expanding.
We have 2 companies out of this office, just in case people are wondering, and so we work together on most projects. So anything else that we for medical marketing in the retail space and in the bricks and mortar kind of business?
Well, what about traditional? I mean, we kind of talked about digital. Google search ads, just to kind of review. Google search ads, no brainer. Google retargeting, most likely if Google doesn't say no. Social, Facebook and Instagram, absolutely. But it's not about just boosting posts on Facebook and Instagram. It's about creating a 2-step, 3-step funnel, having this educational piece at your first step, then selling to them at the second step. Or you're not going to have any success. So that's digital.
Traditional, it depends on what you're offering, but quite often one of the things is referral. Create a referral network, a referral program. The current customers you have, come up with something, whether it's a free dinner or whatever. That's a great way to build your base to get more people coming in referrals in the medical community. Most people want to know that they're going to see somebody that's reliable, that's got a good reputation, and your friend saying that they're great is a good thing.
A lot of your businesses rely heavily on referrals.
Yeah, 100%.
Referral based. BNI.
BNIs, which are all about the referrals,
networking. Which one I'm part of, that's why.
Exactly. One of the things though also is old school phone calling. It's interesting. I go to a chiropractor and I go to massage. And the chiropractor, he before I leave, he sets the next appointment. He sets the next 6 months.
Oh yeah.
And I pay in advance. And he's got this whole. And then I get a phone call and a text and thing. He does not let me escape this appointment. And he churns through the people. And I go to a massage therapist. Completely different experience. They say thank you very much. That'll be this much money. Goodbye. Have a nice day. That's it. I never call. I never get an email. I never get. And frankly, no offense to my chiropractor, I'd rather go get a nice massage. It's a half an hour. The chiropractor's like snap, you're in, you're out. Whereas a massage is really nice. But I go to the chiropractor more because I'm sold more.
It blows my mind, George, that if you are in this field and it is covered by insurance, and you're the chiro or the massage therapist or the dentist, and your system is not your information system, right? Your customer, your database, your database is not set up to send out reminders and to basically calculate that, hey, you haven't spent your
you've got your $500 this year, you haven't spent it,
or do any type of customer retention. No emails, Like, you have this information.
And there's systems that you can purchase that do this for you.
It's like that. What's like, it costs X to get a new customer, but how much does it cost to
spend
keep
20% on your 80% or whatever that number is? Yeah,
it's outrageous. So if you are in the medical marketing, or sorry, if you're in your chiro, your physio, your massage therapist, and you are not using any email marketing.
And texting now, especially for them, like really good for them for reminders and to your current customer database.
Database.
Take advantage of the people that already
Stop listening. Stop listening.
Turn this off and get on the phone.
Yeah. And that's obviously really important. But I mean, that's more process stuff. It's not so much as it.
Well,
it's marketing,
for us,
though. It is marketing.
We sit down. It's part of your discovery. Again, it goes back to the beginning. Put your plan together, and it should include every aspect of marketing, including remarketing in digital and remarketing traditional. The remarketing is basically what that is. It's you're sending emails, you're sending text, you're phone calling people. These kinds of things are very valuable, and mail out still work. Thank you for, if you had a major, I know my dentist calls me after I have a major filling, and she gives me, how you doing tonight, you okay, any pain? It's like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. These kind of things make a big difference.
We need to do,
it's all marketing.
We're going to have to do one on hair salons. I was meeting with, we have a client, hair salon. Mm-hmm. Not their retention rate, but the industry average retention rate was 30%. 30%. So if they get a new client,
they lose 70% of their clients.
70% of people that come to see them don't come back.
Wow.
In the industry. Like, that is off. How? Like, that blows my mind. Like,
that's a lot of attrition. That means you got to keep finding
customers. I thought
customers.
If you did nothing, you would get most people back. But it just shows that, like, if you want to make a difference and you want to if you want to grow your business, take care of your customers that you already have. But anyways,
I just go to my barber at $17. There's a block from my house, and there's 6 of them, and I don't have to wait more than 15 minutes. Too long.
I want to talk about one thing. Google. One other thing is Google reviews.
Yes, that's right.
Obviously, testimonials in this space really important.
And other platforms too.
If you don't have a Google business, if you have a retail shop or a retail brick and mortar,
it should be automatic.
Should be automatic to have a Google business page. If you're not managing it though, big no-no.
And there's great programs out there to help you. Upperly, which we're using now.
$10 a month.
Yeah, it's great, and it makes it really simple, because one of the challenges is a lot of people don't know how to actually do reviews on Google. And you don't need very many, just enough to give you 5 stars.
Which is now just one. But it's more so about your competition when it comes down to it. Is like if your competition, and when somebody searches, massage therapist Vancouver, and all your competition has 100 reviews. And
who are you
going to
go to? You're going to go to one with the reviews?
Well, you better work on your reviews and reputation management.
All right. Well, I hope that's been helpful today. If you want more information, you can, the information's below. If you're watching this on YouTube, or you can email me, george@curvecommunications.com.
Yeah, curvecommunications.com. That's where you need to go.
Yeah, go to curvecommunications.com. I can say it again. So thanks, and have a great day. We're going to finish our beers and head home.
Enjoy the weekend.
Enjoy the weekend. Thanks.